traders at UBA said the long end of the Treasury bills curve is gaining more traction, although the bears continue to dominate the market. Chuka Nwachukwu, head of ALM and balance sheet management, joins me now for more midweek market updates. Chuka, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Esther.
So let's start with you bringing us up to speed with the market trading action today.
Okay, thank you, Esther. Market is a bit quiet. Today is the settlement day for Monday auction. So a lot of traders are trying to settle some of the wins at the auction on Monday. And so we really haven't seen much activity in the market, especially on the T-bill side. I don't know if you want me to run through
Russia, yes.
the auction. Okay, fine. So the auction, about 360 billion was offered across 4 maturities of 2029, 2033, 2038, and then 2053. We saw upward movement in rates, about 25 to 40 basis points in movement across all maturities. For example, 2053 move about 35 basis points from 16.25 to 16.0. And this bond is actually is trading about 10 basis points below where it opened at. And then, of course, another thing to note is that it was undersubscribed. Like I said earlier, 360 was offered, and then 334 billion was sold. However, the longer end, which is 2053, was oversubscribed, while the other maturities were undersubscribed.
Were you expecting these rates to move as high as they did, especially on the 2038 and the 2053 and the longer end?
Yeah, I think the rate we continue to trend upward, especially considering what is happening, with the inflation figures, which is currently 26.72. So it will not make any sense where your inflation figure is that high and then you'd remain around the 15-16 level. So we expect that the rate will continue to trend upward. However, part of why the rate hasn't moved as much as it should move is because the system is highly liquid. We've seen a system liquidity, hover between 580 to 600 billion from Monday to today, and that's most of those liquidity are being reinvested into the bond space and then T-bill space.
Speaking about liquidity, I was seeing that still skeletal activities in the treasury space despite system liquidity. Was it because there's just more focus on the bond auction?
Yeah, that's part of it. But over some time, we've seen that there's been much activity on the shorter end of the curve for the bonds, on the bond side, and then of course the longer end of the curve for T-bills. So a lot of investors prefer to play on the shorter end of the bond side of the market due to the fact that you get better yield, and then of course it makes more sense for you to invest in a shorter end of the curve for bond than the T-bills market. That's basically why we've seen a lot of activities there.
Right. Let's go over to the FX market. Quite surprising or interesting to see that jump, should I say weakening of the Naira against the dollar, 890 basis points. Talk to us, where is the Naira today and why are we seeing such a significant weakening?
Yeah, like you rightly mentioned, we've seen a huge depreciation, from 77 levels to 848 levels we closed at yesterday. This obviously has to do with demand in the market, and of course don't forget that the CBN is trying, part of their policy is to unify the exchange rate. So I guess that's where we are moving up gradually to a point where this unification will happen, and then we have a single exchange rate to play with.
All right, let's wrap this up. What is your forecast for trading for the rest of the week for all segments, including the FX market?
Yeah, so I'll start with T-bills. We will see moderate trading on the T-bill side. This is because MPC meeting is coming up soon, the first with this new CBN leadership. And so a lot of people are skeptical and wary, taking a position, huge position pending when the MPC meeting will hold. So we see a slight moderate trading on the TB side. But on the bond side, we see a bit of a bullish sentiment. People who didn't lose, who lost at the auction, we obviously will come into the secondary market to fill in the space they have, and that will bring a lot of bullish sentiment, especially with the system liquidity that is still very robust.
Right, and for the Naira, can we expect the similar the trading band to remain where it is, this corridor?
I think Naira will remain within this 848, 848 levels. This is also because of the fact that demand still outweighs supply, and so we need to sort that demand aspect first. And as long as we continue to have this demand and supply issue, we'll continue to have the rate remain within this moderate level.
Thank you so much, Chuka, for talking to us today. Appreciate your time on the show. Chuka Nwachukwu, head of ALM and balance sheet management at UBA.